So let me start. So I think all of us here know about NPTEL, right? So what it is, etc. It's an old project of the Ministry of Education. It's a joint project of all the IITs that were there at that time, 2002, 3 frame timeline. So there were about 7 IITs at that time and IISc Bangalore. We all came together and we started this NPTEL project. It started in a small way, but today it's I can confidently say it's one of the most successful multi-institutional projects in the country. I can't think of any other project which is equally successful. Let me just show you a few numbers. The videos, there are so many thousands, tens of thousands of hours of video, 3,200 courses we have developed together, and so many, I think 53 lakh YouTube subscribers for a higher education channel is a huge record. You don't get that kind of numbers easily, and our viewership is also very, very high. This kind of infrastructure is there in all IITs. I think even including IIT Delhi, we have infrastructure for recording classes that happen and then putting it up in our web page. So that's the thing. From 2014, we launched this experiment of, let me not say, it's not an experiment now, it's been more than 10 years, so it's quite successful. This feature of doing online certification, not just, not just a repository of courses. If you go and study it and write an exam at the end of it, if you pass the exam, you get a certificate. So this, you can see, it's been a phenomenal success. So far, from the time we started 2014, we have done more than 8,000 courses. Some huge number of people have enrolled. Enrollment is free. It happens on the SWAYAM portal now. People just go click and they enroll. Some 3.44 crore have done that. And then at the end of the semester, you can choose to write an exam. The exam is 1,000 rupees per person, just to cover our costs. And then 63 lakh people have done this. Maybe these numbers are not the most recent. You have to add this semester's numbers, it will still go up. Maybe I'll tell you what this semester's numbers are. Just this July semester, I think we offered close to 900 courses, 925 courses, some 34 lakh people enrolled, 11.5 lakh people wrote exams. Okay, so just to give you a comparison, GATE happens once a year. Number of people who write GATE this year apparently is come up to 10 lakh now. So once a year, 10 lakh people write GATE exam. In NPTEL, 11.5 lakh people wrote exams just in one semester. Okay, and then in the Jan semester, we're expecting that number to keep increasing as well. So huge number of people participate, and a lot of people get certified as well. Okay, so you can see the growth has been steady and it's been increasing and increasing and increasing. You can see the July numbers down below, and we expect this number to increase further. Okay, so let me just show you maybe some of the slides which are interesting. This is how the certificate looks. These are the courses by department. You can see the bigger departments have many more courses that we have offered so far, but even the smaller departments, including agriculture, food engineering, textile technology, all of these areas also have courses. So we cover every single department. It's not like only the computer science and humanities and management is not the only thing we cover. We cover every single department. This is maybe an interesting slide where I can spend a little bit more time. Why do people do this certification, right? So initially when we started it, there was a lot of questions on why I would do it. Then we persisted with it. We went and spoke to so many colleges across the country. They saw value in that, and today credit transfer happens for many students. You can see the reason why people do it. This credit, that part is really high, and that's been increasing and increasing. So many universities and colleges, including the IITs today, including IIT Madras, for instance. I don't know if it happens in IIT Delhi or not. In IIT Madras, students can do an NPTEL course up to so many credits, then get it transferred into their degree program. So that happens, credit transfer happens quite strongly across the country today. So many people do it, and then you can see why students do that. Of course, they also have other interests. They say, for getting a job and internship. It's again an interesting thing that they have, because the certificate goes with the logo of the institute. It's quite a prestigious certificate to have, and when they put it up, historically we have seen students have better jobs and internship opportunities. So this is also a good thing to see. And of course, updating myself with knowledge in the field. And you can see it's all the, so you can imagine the students who are coming in and doing these courses are the good students in the colleges. And these are the students who we want into our research labs, for our PG programs and all of that. So it's a good segment that we are targeting. Okay, so this is pass percentage, about 70% we maintain. Some of the courses are really hard. Prosomosum, for instance, in IIT Delhi offers an artificial intelligence course, which is very, very hard to pass. I think the pass percentage is some 2% or something. But on average, across all courses, we do quite okay. But I think, yeah, I think this individual departments, the pass percentage varies. A lot of people top these courses, so maybe this much of data is not needed. Maybe you can see there's lots of, because this is an internal presentation we make to our group. So I'm just going to go through very quickly and see if I can stop somewhere which is interesting. Top 20 courses. This might be interesting, right? So you can see the IIT Kharagpur, for some reason, dominates the top courses. You'll see they have a lot of courses that they pitch at the correct level for a large audience. You can see cloud computing, programming in Java. The CS courses tend to be the most popular. You can imagine why that is so. And most of those courses are done by IIT Kharagpur. There's a Python for data science course which ends up in IIT Madras. But other than that, mostly IIT Kharagpur dominates the proceedings. And just to see the numbers, the cloud computing course typically sees like 80,000 people enroll, and some I think about 38,000 registered to write, 35,000 showed up for the exam, and the pass percentage is very, very high, you know. But then you can also contrast it with say database management system, or maybe problem solving through programming in C. That's maybe an interesting course. See, you can see the pass percentage there is only 20%. So I think it varies depending on which course it is and how people do it, etc. You can see these are the top 20 courses. The more it goes more, you can see these are 20 courses. Just to give you a sense of which courses are really, really popular. So this day and age, I think the courses we lack currently in NPTEL are Gen AI courses. To tell you from the CS side, I know how many of you maybe from CS, just to see a show of hands. Anybody from CS? Some 1, 2. Okay, good. So definitely the Gen AI and all these latest AI courses we don't have yet. Okay, so those are nice opportunities in case you think you're interested. You can do that. But not to say that CS is the only thing we do. There are many other disciplines as well, and those also have courses. Okay, so I think this may be not so interesting. This is maybe interesting. Who takes our courses? Of course, a large fraction is students. About 75% is students, and a good healthy 10% or so is faculty in engineering colleges. So if you've been thinking of improving the faculty knowledge in engineering colleges, this also ends up being a very valuable way of doing so. Not just students, but faculty also do it. In fact, I think we do FDP on campus. People come for a week, do something, go back. There is no exam. There's no nothing. There's no guarantee that people learnt anything. So here they have to write an exam. Even though they get like even though they're faculty already, they have to write exams. They have to go through the course material. They should be conversant with that, and only then they get the certificate. So it's a very nice thing for them. In fact, many colleges now have started insisting that their faculty go through one NPTEL course every semester. So that also is happening in very interesting ways. Okay, so there is a list of things, but let's just see institute-wise. I think your coordinator brought up this point. So you can see the number of courses. It's better for me? Okay. All right. So you can see the number of courses that made up if you look at the 869 or the 925 in July 2025, IITM, IIT Kharagpur, Kanpur is high, Guwahati is 101, Roorkee is 122, and Delhi is at 32. Okay, so Bombay is also low, but they're also 71, and IISc is 51, and Delhi is at 32. So I think if there's one reason why I'm here today is to see if that 32 can go up, and there's lots of potential here. Maybe not go all the way to 200 plus and all that. This is very ambitious, but that's up to you. I mean, if you think that's possible, we are very happy. But I think at least you have to beat IISc, I mean, I think we are a UG, IIT Delhi is a UG teaching institution. IISc cannot be offering more courses than IIT Delhi semester on semester in NPTEL. Not to say, I mean, you can do also PG courses. Not that only UG courses are important. A lot of PG courses are also very successful. But I think this number is really, really low. So I think maybe I should stop here and ask some questions. I mean, for instance, if you have some ideas on why do you think this number is low and what can be done from our side to make this better, I'm all ears. I think if you have any comments on that, please, you're welcome. Any ideas on how we can make this 32, let's say 100 100 I think is a good target, right? So you'll agree. So any ideas? What do you think? Yeah, please. Okay. So it is not there in the slides, but I can tell you. So for every hour of final lecture that you record and produce, we pay 10,000 per hour for the content creation alone. So most people do 30-hour courses. So when you create a 30-hour course, you get paid 3 lakhs. Okay, that's for the content creation. And every time the course runs, we pay 50,000 per month for the faculty, 1.5 lakhs. So the first time you create a new 30-hour course on offer, you make 4.5 lakhs. And after that, every semester it runs, you make 1.5 lakh, 1.5 lakh. So that's the model.
Then there's a TA budget also. So
yeah.
Somebody assisting you also gets a budget. It could be your own PhD students, master students, or somebody outside who knows the subject, who helps with, say, slide creation, assignments creation, question paper creation. So that's about 1.5 lakh budget. That's on an hourly billing, so you can split it amongst multiple people.
And then if you do some live sessions, you get paid at some rate, right? That's the additional thing. So that's the revenue. Yeah.
So in continuation of that, apart from the course content which is repeated in the different semesters, the exams should be different.
Yes, yes.
Is involved in all these
yes, so that 50K per month is for the exams, mainly for the assignments and exams. Yeah.
So every week we have like minimum one assignment.
So it is not autopilot.
No.
So you have to be there.
Yeah. You have to be there, and different faculty have different levels of involvement. If you have a good TA, like for instance, quite often if you have a senior PhD student who is running out of funds, right, and you need one more year of support for them, this becomes a very viable opportunity. And then you get them to do most of the work, and you're vetting it and making sure it works out okay. So that has been a very positive.
And also, you see, is there a possibility to add more and more content?
Yes.
While we are teaching, each year we improvise it.
Yeah, that's possible. You can, you can do that. Also. So that's the, please go ahead.
I was wondering, can the course be split amongst multiple?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it happens, already happens. Quite often it happens, yes.
So who shows up in that list? Would it be IIT Delhi or would it be that?
So whoever, the primary institute will show up there, whoever is mainly in charge. Yeah.
So basically we have something called a coordinating institute. So amongst the 7 IITs and ISC, we have somebody who will coordinate with you. So if you're the primary proposer and IIT Delhi office is coordinating, it comes at IIT Delhi.
So by the way, this 213 you see in IITM, I think out of that IITM faculty teaching will probably be only 100. But IITM coordinates so many courses from various institutes that it becomes like that. I'll come to you 1 minute. Yeah, sure.
CMI, IIITs, the newer IITs, National Institute of Epidemiology, TIST, TIFR, many of them come to us and say we would like to offer a course. If the institute is good enough and the faculty is good enough, then we coordinate and offer the course through IIT Madras as the offering.
So whether the institute is good enough or not is decided by.
There is a committee.
We have a formula for it. Yeah.
So, couple of questions. So one is that we are from physics. So there are 265 courses overall. So is it because that most of the courses have been covered?
So not really. I wouldn't agree with that. See, so what we did is we did a very nice exercise for math. I wish somebody could do that in physics. I think if there is interest, IIT Delhi can lead that. For instance, in math, we got a group of faculty from, I think it was from IMSC, IASC and CMI mainly, but they sat together and wrote down the courses that are needed for JAM, for instance, right? So supposing somebody is aiming for JAM, they created a bunch of domains inside math. They said different areas, some core courses, elective courses, they did that. In physics, we are yet to do something like that. If you and maybe some others in IIT with help of other people who you know can come together and put together the list of courses that would complete in some sense the area of physics in some way, and then go look at our courses, you will see there are a lot of gaps. There are many gaps out there, and it's not done. Some of them might need modernization, right? So we have Balki's lectures from those days. Those are great, but then there might be need for some newer version, right? So I think definitely, I think we need that. Even for chemistry, we need that.
Audience that we have is not just primarily engineering colleges. So we work with colleges in the form of local chapters. So they basically partner with us as a coordinator, and through them we actually work with colleges. So we work with about 8,000 local chapters today, and at least 30% of that is art science colleges. So even if your courses are catering to the BSc Physics, MSc Physics or any other department, it's not just engineering we're talking about. So maths could be in that, physics could be in that, chemistry could be in that. That's what we're talking about. And I think physics, we are actually very, very sparsely populated. We don't have the core courses. In fact, we don't have the basic courses also. That's something that we are working on.
So please come in. There are seats on this side.
Say, for example, thermodynamics. Will there be courses run by same name courses by different institutes there? Or
So if there is a big demand, right, if there is like huge demand for these courses, then we can have multiple courses with the same title also. Otherwise, if there's going to be multiple courses,
there are number 900 courses allowed. Are they all the titles are different or?
They have to be different. Yeah, it can't be the same. We can't offer the same title again. But if there is an academic justification of some sort for why you would like to re-record, we can accept that. It's possible.
For instance, we do have thermodynamics courses from chemical engineering discipline.
Yeah.
Nptel we have
Yeah,
from
that's possible.
somewhere else also. So it will be similar title, but it will be from different departments. And we have 2 semesters in a year. So January semester and July semester we offer courses on the structure and stating of credit. So you could have a set of courses that run in Jan, because all the colleges across are not aligned on saying course X I will teach in this semester. They do it in Jan or they do it in July. The curriculum varies. So we also offer a set of courses in Jan and an alternate set of courses in July. So typically all your courses once offered will run once a year, depending on when you offer it. The next year we propose it in the same semester, so that we say that for the effort that you all put in, the department put in for recording, and for the ministry to put in funding for that, at least 5 years, let us offer the course. That's a normal proposal that we do. So once you offer it in, say, July 26, after 31, we are going to be offering it every year in July.
So just to complete my thought on this domain, we now have domain certificates. So a lot of people were coming again and again to do multiple courses with us. We wanted to guide them towards mastery in some sub area of a discipline. So we took a whole bunch of disciplines. If you see CS, there's a whole bunch of areas there: civil engineering, electrical, mechanical. And in each domain, say product design, we have a set of core courses and elective courses. And if students finish those core courses and elective courses, then we give them a domain certificate. So we have so many domain certificates now. I think 1,000 at least. Right?
60 domains are there.
60 domains, and some 1,000 people are every semester are doing domains now. So what we lack, for instance, in physics is domains. I don't think we have domains in physics. So it will be nice to create these domains, fulfill it out, then have all the courses. And there is enough demand because, like she mentioned, we work closely with colleges in the form of local chapters. So nearly 6,000, 7,000 colleges are local chapters. A lot of them are arts and science colleges, and they are looking for physics domains also. So it's very interesting.
Universities, what they've done is, if you do a domain, they treat it as a minor.
Yeah.
So if you do 20 credits here and you take it, they are saying a degree plus a minor.
Minor. So many universities have made it minor if you do a domain with us. So things like that are happening.
So,
Yeah, I think he had a question. I'm sorry, I just passed by him. Yeah, you had a question.
I just wanted to do you encourage or discourage? Suppose I want to offer some course and I see a course by the same name in the portal.
Yeah.
Do you encourage?
So name doesn't matter to me. So if you come up with a academic justification for why you think your course is also important, then we accept it. So there has to be an academic justification. As long as there is a justification.
Examples of justification.
So for instance, I think there was an old control systems class which somebody had recorded. A newer faculty came in and said, I want to do it in a newer way. Like for instance, that whatever A, B, C, D type, some new stuff with more linear algebra, more optimization, something. So you can give an academic justification like that. We will run it through a little review, but if you think it will stand the review, then it should. I think if you have enough of a justification, that's okay. So an approach can be different. The area can be so popular that, like she said, we want to offer it every semester, and then the same prof may not be available all the time. So we need one more. So any type of justification like that is okay. It's purely academic. There's no need for.
Courses. So
Yeah.
Industry has been asking us for regional language courses also. So if you all want to teach in a particular regional language, your reach will come down because, of course, you're limiting into a language. But if any of you is comfortable in any of the regional languages you want to offer a course, that could also be a different.
That can be a reason as well. So it need not be, the technical things need not be in any other language. You just keep everything in English, but your explanations can be in another language, and that's reason enough for us to record new also. It's possible. Yeah, please, I'll come to you.
I have a couple of questions. So can you please elaborate on the review process?
Review process, okay.
In terms of, let's say, how many times the course should run prior to NPTEL recording, or should it be part of the whole course with the same name, or can be part of some course?
Okay.
Or
So
I have
Yeah, I'll answer that and then I'll come back to you. So, because it's being accepted for credit across the country, including in IITs, there is some scrutiny on how we select the courses, right? So, if we just randomly do something, then our own colleagues will come and fight with us saying, how can I do this for credit? So, one thing we ask is, the content you're teaching should be approved in some form in your Senate. So, it should be a Senate approved course. It cannot be outside of that. So, having said that, there is some liberty if there are two different courses that you're combining in some reasonable way, which your coordinator and other people agree, then it's okay. But we would really prefer a course that your Senate has approved in some form, because then the credit transfer becomes automatic. I don't have to justify that, this is part of a credit earning degree or anything like that. That's number one. Number two, we expect, I think, twice or three times in the last 5 years, you must have offered is the criteria. There is again some leeway there, but we would ideally like it like that, because then there is no confusion about what is going on. Three times in the last 5 years.
Contents are more recent and that you have also gotten all the doubts clarified, the content signed up, because once you record, almost for eternity, it's going to be on YouTube. It's all publicly available. They are not closed lectures that are there. Anybody can search and watch your lecture. So you want to be really sure when you put it out there, and we are running it multiple times. So we say that 3 times so that whatever you need to kind of sort, what gaps might be there, you have identified and you've done it, and then you come in for recording with us.
So this also can be a part of the course.
Yes. So yeah, so we have 4-week course, 8-week course and 12-week course. Usually the 12-week course will be the entire content. The 8-week course can be a smaller part of it. The 4-week course can be a smaller part of it. But I can tell you the 12-week courses are the most popular, because students get 3 credits out of it. The colleges like it. It's a nice multiple and they do.
Many universities don't still have this concept of 1 credit.
1 credit and 2 credit. They don't like that.
Semester
Yeah.
courses. So when they transfer credit, they also want the 12-week courses.
I think you had one more question. Yeah.
So another is, let's say, I think someone was also asking. So we update the content maybe every year or so, if it is a PG course and a binding course or something. So how does this happen? Yeah,
every year might be a little tough. I think given the way the funding happens. I mean, you're free to update, but if you may not get paid for it, right? So yeah. You update. You may update every year, but here the funding, the way it works. If I go back to the ministry and say, no, it's been just 6 months, I want to update again, they'll come back and ask me why and all that. It's a little bit more complicated. I think they have a time, I think about 5 years.
Currently, they said
5 years is what they've said. After 5 years, it's up for updating.
Lectures is okay. When you say and maybe adding a few lectures is okay, replacing maybe a couple of lectures is okay. But when we say we're overhauling or we're changing for weeks, then
I was just asking.
1 or 2 lectures, we can manage with the funding we have, but when it goes to a full course, then we need funding from the ministry. And when we need funding from the ministry, I have to justify it. So 5 years is okay with them. But beyond that, and at that time, they will also look at the popularity of the course and all that. I mean, if nobody is taking it also, there will be an issue. But enough people are taking it, definitely viable.
Yeah. The course level can be UG, PG, or even we have PhD level courses, because many of the students who are doing PhD, their colleges are offered that the coursework for the PhD can come from NPTEL courses. So one thing I think we missed was all the exams we do at finally, which we collect a 1,000 rupee fee, is in-person, proctored at centers across the country. So this is done by TCS Ion, who runs our GATE and our JEE exams. They do the exams for NPTEL also. So they come to centers and write it, and that's why we have the credibility for credit transfer here. And that's one thing. While proposing courses, one thing you can also do is, you can first propose a 4-week course. If you're skeptical about a 12-week course, unless you're sure about it, offer the 4-week course, then you can append contents to it and then make it into an 8 weeks, then come up with a 12-week course also. So that is totally fine as we are offering a course.
Okay, so you can see it's just some numbers. There is a person who has done 78 NPTEL courses. Just to give you a sense of there is a big fan following today in NPTEL. I'm telling you, you may not have had the thing to see it. It's amazing when we do these events. We do an event every semester where we invite the NPTEL stars and all these people who have done many courses with us to come to campus. Have a workshop with them. Those are huge hits. Right, when you see that, you will feel an energy in the whole process. There are people who are really enjoying this out there. Okay.
For instance, you can see on the right side, we have said number of courses taken in Jan 2025. So last year we had 6 exam dates. Every day there are 2 exams every day. 29 people have actually taken 12 exams, which is like Saturday afternoon, morning after, Sunday morning after.
This is really crazy people out there.
Yeah, there are people who do that kind of exams with us, and there was a person who was a topper in 12 courses. Samrat, there was is a guy from West Bengal, and he's a topper in all 12 that we did last time, and he's come out. So there are many who keep buying for courses and actually keep coming back to us.
It's one amazing way to engage with this community of learners out there in some way or the other, right? So let me just go. Yeah, these are some of the people who are many faculty do it. There are also non-faculty. Some of them are. I'll just go through this very quickly. You had a question, no? Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have a list of courses, existing courses,
department-wise? Yeah, we can share that with you. It's just too big to list in a slide. We'll share that with you. Yeah, she should be able to do it. So these are the last 4 semesters. Yeah, so other initiatives. Let me just talk about this also. Yeah, this is a good slide for me to talk on. See, while we offer courses and give certificates, that's one part of it. But we also engage in a strong way with the community of learners to bring them into the IIT where it's possible. Okay, now that's also a wonderful way of engaging with them, because this gives you input to your lab, to your PG programs in multiple ways. Let me talk about a few things. One thing we do now is something called post-bac fellowships. So students who typically do few NPTEL courses, we advertise sort of a 1-year stay in a research lab in IITs. That's what we call as a post-bac fellowship. They should have finished a bachelor's degree, and then they can get to spend 1 year in a research lab in an IIT. So the proposal has to come from a faculty in an IIT. We advertise it among the NPTEL learners. They apply against it, and you interview them. And if you select them, they come into your lab and stay with you. We pay them 25K per month plus HRA as fellowship. We pay them. You don't have to pay them. In addition, we also pay 1 lakh contingency. So literally you get one person who will come and spend 1 year with you, and if you have a mechanism during that 1 year to convert them into a PG student, say an MS student or a PhD student, we have funding for MS. If they upgrade to an MS legitimately in the institute, I don't know if you have a method like that. If somebody comes into a project, I don't know if you have a mechanism for them to convert to an MS program. Do you have something like that? Project MS, we call it in IITM at least. So if you have a mechanism like that, we have support for such things also. So these are valuable opportunities. In fact, it's being used in a big way by many faculty. I can give you some numbers. We tried it first in 2024. There are some numbers. In 2025, it has gone up in a big way. I don't know. Are people familiar about this post-bac fellowship? No? No. So this is a very nice way in which you can bring in these NPTEL learners who have learnt all these courses from us into your lab, try them out for a year. If it works out, it's great. Otherwise, there's nothing to lose as far as we.
We got 100 project proposals from faculty, and finally about 65 fellows joined and completed the fellowship. Out of that, I think about 6 of them converted to a PhD, 4 at IIT Roorkee and 2 elsewhere, and about another 4 joined MS or an MTech program. So this year we increased the pool to many more institutes. So we got about 540 candidates to apply 200 project proposals. We got 160 fellows are currently doing it at the various institutes.
So this is for how long?
1 year, 1 year fellowship. Yeah. So see, this generation, somehow I feel many are not willing to commit to a research program without knowing what research is. They feel like they have to try it out a bit, and this kind of program seems to fit into that. As some may be already convinced, they may be coming in for research, but there are many people on the fence, and for them to give a good flavor of what research is seems to be important. So that's one initiative. The other initiative where you can have NPTEL learners come and spend time in your lab is for internship for toppers. So supposing you offer a course and the top 5% say among that, you can give an option to do an internship in the summer. So this is not a full 1 year. It's summer alone, 2 months, 3 months. Again, we pay something like 25K, 15K plus per month we pay for interns. So they get some money to make sure that their expenses are filled, and they spend the summer with you and then they go back. That's also a way, summer or winter. Yeah.
So both this post-bac and internship, it has to be in my course, or it could be the common pool of NPTEL funding?
It can be any way. Yeah.
Post-bac is where you propose a project. It's not a course as such. So you say project and you say what are the prereqs for that particular thing that they have to have.
That can be from any NPTEL course.
Internship.
Not necessarily mine.
Not necessarily yours. Internship, usually it's from your course. But you can also say, yeah, if you know some other course which is really good, and you can say toppers from there are eligible for it. That's also possible. So all these are possible. All that is coordinated through the NPTEL office only. So it will come through you. So these are nice initiatives. Yeah.
So for this post-bac fellowships, is there any criteria with the number of courses that the student or the post-bac has to?
You can put whatever criteria you want.
Normally advertise those have done 5 courses or
Hmm.
have been course toppers. So we have some category called NPTEL stars where they are more than 5 courses and above. We have different categories. So those in that category alone are eligible for applying to the postbac fellowships.
So it's like certain grade or just the
So normally it's like 60 plus and above. That's a star category. It's like 60 marks and above. So beyond that, it's up to you to interview, filter, and make postbac.
So that's the 2 programs. What else? I think there is GATE exam coaching, credit transfer I spoke about. SPOC support is how we support the colleges. Maybe that's not so interesting. Lab workshops are one more thing you can do. Supposing in the summer or in the winter, summer mostly, if you think there is a lab that you're teaching which is very popular on campus, which can be of benefit to other NPTEL learners, and it's free in the summer, you can propose a lab workshop at that time. So we will advertise it among the NPTEL learners and people will sign up. There is funding support for it. I don't recall exactly what it is.
We basically ask for Monday to Friday, you propose a lab to be run. Morning and afternoon, one experiment and maybe one talk by somebody in the lab or maybe a PhD student or faculty that they can talk to. 50 students in a cohort, normally we say that they can do the lab. On Saturday, we do a lab exam and finish it off. 2 lakhs is the funding for that. In that, the faculty honorarium, there is support for people who are doing it as well as contingency consumables that you're doing. So if you propose a workshop, then we advertise it amongst those who have some background in it and they come. So these lab workshops need not be something fancy or something.
Yeah.
But it can just be basic, your first year physics lab.
So yeah, particularly in the sciences, we have seen that if you do like a simple chemistry lab, people come and they're really shocked. I mean, because they've not seen a good lab. Mostly people from smaller towns around, they may have an interest in the area, but they've not seen labs. And when they see the lab, a lot of things happen there. I mean, it's something very interesting. A lot of ICERs do this quite regularly, and they've seen IIT Bombay does that. So it's a nice way in which in the summer, anyway, the lab is free, the lab technicians are available. It's a way for them to make some money out of it. Their lab is getting used. It's very, very interesting and good to do lab workshops. NPTEL Plus is another thing. This is also very interesting. So in case you don't want to do a full course, but you think there is a nice, interesting, hot topic which you think will be of interest to the NPTEL learners in general, you can offer short-term programs which are like, it can be as short as 3 hours. 3 hours or 5 hours or 10 hours, one day maybe. I mean, depending on your level of interest, you can offer this program. This is offered online. That's what's called NPTEL Plus. This is offered online, so you can do it from wherever you are. Let me think of one example. Let's say you want to talk about prompt engineering, which is a very big deal today. So you want to do a 3-hour session on prompt engineering or vibe coding, which is again a major thing today that everybody talks about. I want to do a 3-hour program on that. So this is going to be online. So you offer that, we advertise it among the NPTEL learners. We charge something. Usually what do we charge? It's 200, 500. I mean, NPTEL learners are not the richest in the world. So I mean, you can't charge too much, and we are keeping it only 3 hours. So invariably you'll see if you hit it off, you hit a good topic. Like even I keep giving CS examples, but you also have other examples, right? So there are, yeah, so maybe it's there, I'll show it to you. So there are so many other examples. Any area you pick, if there is a tool that you want to introduce within a 3-4 hour period, it could be R programming, it could be some Tableau, whatever. Yeah. Patent writing.
Behavioral engineering workshops.
Yeah.
Patent, we have done 1 week workshops. In towards, we've done like mechanical engineering. In bio, we've done some DECA models or something like that is there. Introduction to machine learning, mathematical foundations. So it could be something fundamental, it could be something that's your research topic, it could be something that is trending and you just want to introduce the learners to it. It's again all disciplines.
Some FEM tool, for instance, like finite element method tool, something you want to introduce people to, or COMSOL or something that people blindly keep doing without knowing the foundation, all that. If you can take one example and show them how to do it properly, you'll see a lot of people sign up. So even if it is like 500 per person or 200 per person, if you have say 1000 people sign up or 500 people sign up, it becomes a sizable amount. And there is a revenue sharing where 25 NPTEL keeps for our expenses and 75% goes to the faculty. So it's for a half a day effort. I've seen it's reasonably good returns also. Yeah. It's live. It's live.
Another, so during this content creation, for example, I mean, I don't see any courses actually in physics that have live demonstrations.
Yeah. Wonderful.
But then the question comes of a copyright, because if I use certain instrument which has a
No, instruments is not a problem in
It's not a
copyright.
problem.
Yeah, because that's you're just doing a live demo. You're not claiming anything
Yeah.
from that content. Yeah.
Suppose if I want to put up, let's say, a course, something like doing physics with Mathematica. Mathematica is a copyrighted software.
Yeah.
So,
So what we have done in the past is, whenever we have a popular software like that, we get in touch with them, and quite often they're happy to give license during the run of the course to everybody who's participating in it. MATLAB has done that multiple times. They have a running arrangement with us. So in fact, they come and they do one part of the course. They give some content saying how to use MATLAB and all that. So these software guys are very interested. If you say, I'm doing it as a teaching effort, they want more people to know that software. So even we've even had a FEM tool like that. No, I forget what it is. Yeah, so we've been able to succeed in those kind of things. So it's possible. I mean, you don't have to be worried about it.
It is an open source equivalent that you want.
Yeah, then it's very easy.
Do that. If you want to demo this with license, but not necessarily expect all of them to have it and hence do the course, then we also say pre-req. So if you have this course is IDW,
But-
don't come.
But I think Mathematica is definitely worth approaching them, saying we are doing this MOOC, and during this time, can you give some? Many of them have these online things to which they just give access, and not many people are going to use. They know that also, so it works out quite okay. We can do
And the
that.
lab demos we've had in many courses.
Yeah, lab demos are
Courses,
fantastic.
We actually recorded labs. We go to the lab, we get every experiment recorded, then we have the voiceovers for it. We put it as add-ons in the theory courses so that people at least know that there are such labs and experiments associated with it. That is one way of doing it. The other way is there are a couple of courses like geotechnical engineering from IIT Bombay where they have recorded the entire lab, they show it, then they give the results, and the exam and everything is based on it. So assuming you've done the experiment and you're getting this, now what do you do with it? So they've actually formulated a course based on it as a practical course.
So I mean, I was more interested in not the lab course, but during lectures,
You
if there are demos and everything.
absolutely.
So such lectures, at least in physics.
No, many I can send you some links. Yeah.
So I spoke about credit transfer. This is another thing. I think if you think you can enable this for IIT Delhi students, it will be great. You can see many IITs have enabled this for their students. IIT Madras says 21 credits, but 21 is we have an exaggerated credit number. So that's like 2.5 to 3 courses. That's what it is. Every IIT has done that. They have different forms in which they have done it. Some don't like touching the UG thing in any way, so they do for PG courses, PhD, etc. But many IITs have done credit transfer also. Yeah, so this maybe is not so important. Internship for toppers, I spoke about it. So anything else that's interesting here?
The NPTEL Plus maybe the
Yeah.
data that comes.
So all these courses, I mean, the recording is put on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Everything.
Yeah, there's an NPTEL HRD channel. NPTEL is there. So the 76,000 hours we said is there on YouTube.
So we do gate preparation assistance. This is again for many students. In fact, some of the gate toppers have come out in interviews and said, I used the NPTEL gate preparation and do that. It's also becoming very popular in its own way. NPTEL Plus, I mentioned this. This is a paid model, and you can do this in so many different ways. You can use it, and many faculty do it. So maybe I can show you. You can see the numbers here. Yeah, so these are some of the titles. You can see the title. There is a lean construction course which became popular. Python for data science, always popular. You can see all the body language. Yeah. So you'll always get 100. I think 100 is not a difficult number given our reach, So whatever topic you do, you get 100. But if it's a more popular topic, you get more number of people.
I have a question for NPTEL Plus.
Yeah.
So when I just had kind of one-to-one conversation with many faculty to convince them. So one thing was coming out from them is that the long-term commitment. Like when I say that 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks model, that time I did not have a clear idea about Plus.
Yeah.
Now the Plus is again, it's not pre-recorded.
Yeah, not pre-recorded.
And the Plus courses did not be approved by Senate or anything.
No.
There is
No.
credit transfer.
No.
So is it possible to introduce pre-recorded? Because anyway, if it is, because sometimes what I found that many faculty members, they think that the available content on YouTube, anyway, like we have no shorter attention span. Like we do not want to continue watch more than 10 minutes. So they want to create like module specific or concept specific, very short content. Is sort of here, even sort of here from that. So he's from design and he kept on saying that, look, I mean, one way to go about is that create sort of things.
So let me address all of those things. The first thing is the difficulty in doing a long course, right? So how we have solved this problem in IITM, which is very effective, is what we do is we record the actual classes in the regular semester. So supposing you're teaching a course that you want to offer on NPTEL, you're teaching it on campus. So we get that class to happen in a studio-like environment, or I think the lecture halls here are good enough. I mean, it's not that noisy. So we take the camera to the lecture halls where that class is happening. So while you're teaching, your normal teaching, the recording happens. The only thing we ask, which I think is possible, is we ask that you write on a tablet and then get it projected in your live class, so that way recording is much cleaner. When you write on a tablet, it becomes much better. So that's the only thing we ask, and that improves the quality in a significant way. So that load of actually doing separate recording is not there. You record it along with your whole regular class. And the second thing is, some people are a little afraid of talking to the camera, not afraid, at least they don't feel natural when they teach to the camera. But when in the presence of students, they may be more natural. So those recordings also come out in very interesting ways. That's the first thing. Second thing is, what do you do with the short attention span? So you can think of it in many ways. If you are good at planning 10-minute lectures, you can plan 10-minute lectures and do that. But what I've seen faculty do is, they would take a 40-minute regular lecture and then chunk it later. You split it into, say, 10-minute, 15-minute type things, in which you annotate it and say, in this lecture we are doing this, okay, particular thing. Either you can do it, or you can have a TA assist you from the beginning, and you can have one of your students doing that chunking. So once you do that chunking, all of these problems are solved in a very natural way. So I would say, if you can put the cameras in the lecture halls while people are teaching, get it recorded, most of the recording is done. And then in the editing part, you do the chunking and dividing it up into different things, so that people can consume it in an easy way.
In fact, in IIT Madras, at least 20-25 courses every semester we record in the class. We take out all the new courses that people are offering that we don't have titles here, and we record it, and when we ask them, do you want to offer it for certification? That's one model that's it. But even if they don't want to offer it for certification, we say, let's put it on the repository. There are people who come to the repository to just look out for new content, right? Let us at least give it to them for studying. So that's also something. So
the thing that's done, Saurabh, this is the way she approaches it, which I think is a good approach. If you have a suitable person here, every time the course list is announced for the semester, they would just go there and then go through the list and see, is this an interesting course? Is this an interesting course? Do we think you want to record this? And then simply call the faculty or send an email to them and call them and sort of, go maybe see them in their office before the semester starts. Hey, do you want to just put it up in a, we'll just record it. You do whatever you want later with it, right? Yeah. So you just don't scare them with, you have to commit for 2 years, 3 years. You just record first. Once the material is ready, we'll do something else with it. And people are usually okay with that. And then once the material is done, then the friction to, do the remaining things to offer it becomes lesser. Because we can then pay at that point, right? So that also is an attractive proposition, and you've done most of your work. So if you do that exercise sort of diligently before the semester, like the January semester is on now, right? So if you start now, you may know already the list of courses. So you may want to target, okay, so this one, just call these people, take down the names of everybody who attended today, then go back and figure out what courses they are teaching. And then, yes, I think that exercise, I don't think it was done in the past. It's not been done in that same regularity and all that. So if you do it a couple of times, you will get a lot more commitment.
Plus we keep it live because there's so much of recorded content anyways outside, right? So what people want is also an interaction with the faculty from IIT, which is very valuable. So they come in for that. So unless you're planning to repeat the workshop at least a couple of times, which we have, there are specific workshops we run for faculty. In fact, we have the 5th cohort, 6th cohort and all of it. So we record it, but then we say come in on Saturday for 1 hour at least to interact. So let them watch the videos, but you come in and interact with the learners for an hour. So NPTEL Plus, we largely keep it just live, interactive, coming in for students. In fact, some of the workshops we do are only for PG, PhD students. We say that's the cohort we want, it's not general public or something, it's very specialized in your areas and so on. So NPTEL Plus, we keep it live.
So one of the more recent initiatives, it's in the works, is an NPTEL chair professorship. So we are now establishing in all the IITs NPTEL chair professorships. I think you're doing the paperwork for that. Already done. So it will come out, and then this chair will be open to faculty who have contributed significantly to NPTEL and all that. So on all IITs we're doing that as well. So that's one more.
NPTEL Plus contents, these are also in the repository?
No. So these can be you can use copyrighted stuff. I mean, it's very relaxed that way. Just regular.
No, I'm saying that let's say these courses, can I access somewhere?
No, no, no.
We have recordings. If you want something specific, I can give you access, but we don't put it in the public domain.
It's not public. These are kept behind a paywall. People have to pay to access this.
When you just go
But
for
even to pay to access, if you're saying copyright material is part of this, then if they pay, can they access it?
no, not later. These are just live.
When they, yeah, after, there's no repository as such.
Right.
Yeah, it's available for the live viewing.
It's only that session that we do. That's it.
That session is, and that's part of NPTEL Plus.
Plus.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus. But fundamentally, then what's happening with NPTEL Plus? Like, who's using it?
So the NPTEL learner community, when they attend the class live, they learn something from it. They can take notes, etc. That's it. The content itself is, I mean, it's like if you do a short-term course on campus, what happens on NPTEL Plus. It happens online. That's all.
We do it all.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
That's the way to think of it.
So, because see, there's a link question. So, what happens, at least in our cases, we use a lot of case studies for classroom discussion. Now, these are paid case studies, and they have a number of clicks for which you pay
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
Now, but so you pay for the number of students who are enrolled in that.
Yeah, yeah. So you can do that same thing here. If on NPTEL Plus, you can do that. If whoever is selling the case study is okay with that, then you can put a suitable fee for it and then say, I will discuss this with this case study as part of NPTEL Plus. You're using it for the duration of the course and that's it. After that, it's over.
So we have to negotiate with
Some costing. No, I mean, they should be okay with that kind of usage, online usage and some, as opposed to in-person, in-class usage. If they're okay with that, then that works.
Right, right. And in terms of reproducing content for the slides that you use for NPTEL programs, we do refer to textbooks, we do refer to research papers, we of course reference them, but are there restrictions in terms of, because this is completely out in the open?
So you can't take copy of that without approval, right? So you'll need approval from publishers. We have done that occasionally. Occasionally we've written to the publisher and asked, can we use this image in the course? And they've said yes. And quite often they say yes. I mean, it's not like a big deal for them. But if you want some content reproduced, I don't know if IIT Delhi has such facilities. In IITM, we have people who can reproduce content. So if you give them an image, we redraw it in our own way, and then you can use. That's yours.
So if you have special team
Yes, we have a team, Mr.
related to this, I mean, I received a few queries from some faculty members that in their classroom they follow some
Textbook.
Either not only text, like even their
Notes.
slides and
Yeah.
all, and it's properly disclosed. The students also know what is the source. But they say that if I do this,
That is very hard. Yeah, that you can't do.
so they can redraw everything or.
But if it is, I mean, at that level, if you're redoing the slides exactly like somebody else's slides, that also looks a little bad, right? I mean, see, if it is one image you're using in your own slides and that image is like I think one person had some brain visualization diagrams, those are harder to do. That, yeah, 600 or something. So those are easier to do. But if it's going to be just regular slides and if you're simply, even if you redo them and if it's exactly the same, it looks bad. See, imagine this is going in the public domain. Everybody is seeing it. And we are claiming it's your course, right? So there is a certain, that part of it you have to take care.
Textbook, you can give it as
Yes.
a reference textbook. We
Yes.
also quote it in the website. When the course is offered, we say that. So normally the author and the publisher will be happy because it's giving them more visibility. And wherever you are referencing anything in the slide, we say from this book, this page, from this, so that we are not saying that we own it or whatever. But we also send out an email to the author and this is saying we are doing a course. This is anyway non-profit kind of an initiative, right, from the government of India. So when we describe the project and we say that this is what we are doing, so far we've never had objections. Either we're using their material there and we say we'll reference your book as a material. They're happy that some say something, visibility will increase. Yeah,
so usually we write to them and get that permission. That works.
So the instructor gives out notes as well in some written format during the
So we create transcripts from the lecture content also, and that is available, and that's been very valuable now.
So what will you write on the tablet? Normally we capture it as a PDF and we give that if you're okay with it. That is one part. Second is the transcripts, because for the differently abled we definitely have to transcribe. So all the transcripts are made into notes and we ask somebody from your side to clean it up for readability also, because when you speak, it won't be readable when you directly transcribe, right? So we say make it readable and then we also give that out. And that's what we translate to. So nowadays we are doing it into 11 language translation, so that's a material we use for translation.
So another question. So you said the courses which you would like us to propose are the ones which has been pre-approved by the Senate here. Right?
Yeah.
Won't there be a conflict of interest if we are trying to propose the same course content to NPTEL? Would the institute be
No. There's no, I mean, NPTEL is a project of IIT Delhi also. Delhi is a part of it. Yeah,
It's our
Just
thing.
do the same thing.
yeah.
NPTEL is not a separate entity.
Yeah. It's very much our project.
Part of the 7 IITs and ISC, where IIT Delhi is also primary.
Okay. So one more thing that people do with NPTEL Plus workshops is they do an online version, and then for a limited number they do an on-campus version. So you can do two things. So if you think there is something else you can do only in limited number, like for instance a case study. So you do an open NPTEL Plus workshop, enough people are interested there, you do something simpler there, and then a smaller subset from that you bring them on campus and charge them more for it also. So it works like that also. A lot of people do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's all.
We have many learners from Europe and US who participate in all these workshops. They also come in and they study and they also engage with us many times.
So
these are just the topics that
yeah, so you can see the topics. There's all sorts of topics from many universities.
People signing up many times. On bio, we have quite a few that are there. You can see the AI, of course, is there, neuro-linguistic programming, career development. So even things like that where students require, some kind of mentoring or whatever you can give them as, pathways for them. That is something that they find very useful. So we have all of this here.
So quite a few. You can see all the IITs are participating. There's a reason. I mean, like you get a connect, which otherwise you don't get. It's a nationwide connect. It's not even around you. Yeah.
So I don't know whether this is the useful question or not, but I was thinking that JEE is an exam where many students take, but you can't give a course saying that preparing for the JEE exam, or is it possible? Or say somebody is coming and solving the past 10 years of question.
Okay.
It's a direct competition.
So we do GATE exam preparation. So GATE seems to be at some level okay because GATE is like a, I don't know, is it okay? So in the past,
In our service, we are not supposed to be in any kind of coaching activity.
yeah, so there is like that conflict. But having said that, in the past there's been ministry projects where faculty of IIT helped in JEE prep in some way or the other. Okay, so we have stayed clear of it as NPTEL. But from IIT Madras, we do some school-oriented courses. So I can talk about that, but that's a different. That's not through NPTEL. So NPTEL has been primarily aimed at college-going students and sticking to the college curriculum. Yeah, so many NPTEL Plus workshops, master classes.
Kanpur has a project called Sati that
they do that.
Doing the JEE coaching and approaching school students, and also it's a ministry funded project. So they are handling that part.
Anything else that comes up after this?
These are lab titles.
Yeah, lab workshops. These are all lab workshops that have been run in the past.
I just want to know what's a rough timeline from the time you propose it, because we'd also like to sync it with the time.
So the next available window is July 26. So Jan 26 is already over. So July 26 is the next window.
So for many of us, I think if you could give us some timeline,
Yeah. The next slide. Can you go to the other presentation? So I'll do that.
Also, is there any limit on number of registrations such that one goes?
So no, I think I mean the ministry keeps making some noises, but it's usually not a big deal. If 500 people or 1,000, they like 1,000 people enrolling, but 500 is also okay. But we have our own justifications, I mean, we say it's a research-oriented course, it's a special.
For instance, textile engineering courses come only from IIT Delhi, and hardly there are any institutes outside that have such a discipline. So we tell them we're offering these courses, it's important, but yes, your enrollment is going to be similarly with metallurgical engineering, right? Very few colleges do that.
Once in a while they'll keep protesting, but eventually, they're okay when we say that.
Or we say the PhD course, so those would be numbers naturally smaller.
Okay, so now guidelines on if you're interested, how to go about offering courses. The first step is to propose. It's good to propose multiple titles because then it's easier to process those things. You can have 4, 8, 12 weeks, 10, 20, 30 hours. That's the conversion. You have to give a detailed syllabus, instructor details. It can be multiple faculty across different institutes. You can have guest lectures from people. Those things are valuable. I mean, if you can innovate in terms of if you don't want to do only lectures, you want to do some group discussions, show some demo like you were mentioning, take the camera outside. In fact, IIT Kanpur has a flight dynamics course where they actually fly in a plane. So they fly in a plane and show what happens. I mean, all that is possible. I mean, that's something, a lot of people say online course is not good enough, but that's something you can do in an online course which you can't do in a physical course, right? So you can do all that. And I'm hoping IIT Delhi camera team and all will support that, right? Should happen that. So this will happen. Duration, target audience.
There are 15%, 10 to 15% faculty in colleges that take up
Yeah.
courses. The primary reason they tell us is they come in to learn to teach the course. So many times they are like, oh, we always thought lecturing was the only way. So in one course we had a lot of project presentations by the students also incorporated as part of the content, and they were suddenly like, oh, we can do this also. So with the questions they come, term on term to say, I just want to collect the questions that your faculty are giving, so that we get an idea of how to do it, how to teach. So that segment also you can kind of target when you're doing a course. It's not just the students are learning, but also the faculty.
So by the way, language courses are also very popular. If people are teaching languages, like for instance, German courses by faculty in ITM, they're really popular. Korean is popular, Japanese is popular. See, wherever people are trying to emigrate, no? And if that needs a language change, and that language also becomes popular. We don't have French, for instance,
We
right?
don't have French, Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish.
We don't have Hindi. In fact, we get a lot of requests for a Hindi course.
So that's also there. So yeah, I think the criteria we mentioned, it should be Senate approved and taught 2 or 3 times in the last 5 years is what this says. Okay, with good teacher ratings, whatever that means. Okay, so recording method studio in the institute, we really advocate this writing on the Wacom, because I think you'll see the lectures that come out of those recordings are so much better. Blackboard writing resolution is not good. It's gone really. I mean, these kind of recordings are very good. If there is no studio, so like I said, when I say no studio, if you want to take the camera to the classroom, that's also okay. And I think that's something I would really encourage, because it's an easy way to increase the number of courses that get recorded. So it's possible to screen capture and all of that. So there is a CC license we use, so we have to be careful about copyrighted content. And those are all the ideas that I gave you, or how you can do different types of recordings.
Yeah, so the licenses where you all retain the IP, you all give the distribution rights to NPTEL, and NPTEL distributes it under the CC BY SA license, non-commercial, which means that colleges can also take your content, they can use it for their academic purposes and all of it. But if they make changes, they are ideally supposed to tell us. But nobody can put it out commercially because the ministry is funding it. Tomorrow you create a course here and say, I want to post it on Coursera or something, that won't be possible. It's limited to SWAYAM platform, the NPTEL thing. But you're writing a book, say, based on this. That is okay.
That's okay.
If you're doing a course in which you're using this content, it's perfectly fine. So that way it is allowed to use.
Okay. Assignments. There's going to be one assignment every week. So these are typically multiple choice or objective type. You can have numerical answer, for instance. Any objective type questions we are okay with. It can be fill in the blanks. Programming courses, we can have programming exams. We have an in-house development team which will support this. So if you want to do new things that you want to try, it's possible. All of that's okay. There are comprehension type questions and all that. In case the course is not going to be a very large volume course, and maybe from the 6th week onwards or 7th week onwards, if in a 12-week course, numbers are also predictable. You would know how many people are submitting assignments. You can also do manual grading. It's possible. You can have, if you want them to write out proofs in detail or show the steps, you can do that, and you can have your TAs graded. That's possible. You can also do peer review. If there is you're getting somebody to write an essay and you want the other students to evaluate it, that's possible on the portal as well. So all of these are possible. And if you think there is an idea for a way to run an assignment, we are happy to work with you. Like I mentioned, we have an in-house development team which can do some, we can do the app creation and all of that. So it's possible to work on it.
Courses like appreciating Carnatic music, appreciating Hindustani music and all, which are actually Senate-approved courses in IIT Madras that is being offered. Hence, we brought it online. So those also have a huge stake in that. That's why we use a lot of video clips, audio.
Sanskrit, for instance.
We have from Kharagpur. So it's possible to do whatever you teach here to actually translate it.
So all these assignments and grading and everything, we're going to pay 50,000 rupees for hiring per month.
The TA budget is 50K per month.
For a 12-week course, it is 1.5 lakhs. For the TAs, it is basically you bill them at 300 or 500 per hour. So if you have 2 or 3 TAs, a budget is fixed, then you pay according to how many hours they do.
And we can recruit our students as well.
Yes. Anybody. They need not even be co-located. They can be elsewhere. It's mostly online work.
We have students abroad who have actually functioned as TAs. Your ex-students who are now faculty elsewhere, they can help you also run the course. It could be anybody that you justify as a thing. Only thing is relations we kind of say so that there is conflict of interest. That's about it.
Yeah, we had some issue with that once. Okay, so mode of final exams, all of the exams are proctored, they happen in centers, they are run by TCS Ion just like GATE or JEE or anything like that. In-person centers, we also run exams in the Gulf, multiple centers in Gulf. Singapore we don't do NPTEL, right? We don't do, but in Gulf we do. And other countries we do online remote proctoring. So outside of Gulf and India and all that, mostly auto graded. If it is greater than 100, there's no option, you have to have auto graded exams. If it is less than 100, we also provide the option of pen and paper exam. So people can write it and then send back the thing to you.
Yeah, the only point I make here is normally we ask you for the question papers before the course will open for enrollments because of the volume. We do about 1,000 courses a semester. We have to create 2,000 papers, on the TCS system. Any of you who's been in the JEE or GATE will know what the system is and how you have to do it. So a team in our office does it. So if you ask us, will I know how many will write exams? We don't know. It's only a guess we can make based on other courses that we have and how it's going to function that we can give you an idea. So that's something that we have to guess. So normally we say first time go on for an auto graded to be safe that whatever numbers come we can handle. Then after the first time based on the result we can possibly go for the next time for paper questions.
So that's the
It would be more likely MCQ type of question.
MCQ, numerical answer, all of that. String match.
That's the most popular. Almost 50% of our questions come from.
Yeah, because mostly engineering you want to do a calculation and then put a number, and if it falls in a range you get full marks. So that's the correct way to. So what IITM will do, we do some review of the course proposal, but some of that happens here also, right? No, not in Delhi. Okay, so we do that, and then there is a timeline. So you see here.
There's a slide with the timeline.
Okay, there's a separate slide. Responsibilities, what IIT Delhi does. I think it's okay, IITM. Yeah, so I think faculty are responsible for the course content, right? So this is very important. You are ultimately responsible for the course. There's no taking that responsibility away, even though we are all involved, we help you. So you have to, at some level, when the assignment goes out, you have to see the assignment once and make sure that it is coming out correctly. You or a TA, somebody has to sign off on that, because our people will put up the content, but they don't know the subject. They can't make head or tails out of what is going on there. So, and there can be some slip-ups here, there, and that responsibility faculty have to take, because online, once you make a mistake, it's impossible to correct, because somebody has already seen it and responded and everything, and then you can't undo that damage at all. It's not like a class here where you can go and say, oh, I made this mistake, erase all this, do something. You can't do that at all. So we have to be very, very careful and to avoid mistakes. That's one problem.
Going with the same line, I'll say faculty have to do only the content. The remaining parts of it, we will take care from our office, be it publicity, be it putting the portal. You don't even have to touch the portal except for handling the discussion forum possibly. Give us the question papers, we will handle the exam registration, administer the exam. Scores will come back to you. Of course, you will sign off, look at the scores, and you will sign that off and say that everything is okay. But except for the academic part, all the logistical operations part, we will handle from our side. You don't have to worry about it at all.
Yeah, so that part, I think, because you can see hundreds of faculty across the IITs are participating in NPTEL semester after semester. If it's going to be demanding on their time, nobody will do that. This is, it's a well-oiled operation. We know how to, we understand faculty, we know what their constraints, and we work within those constraints and make it possible. So in fact, the score signing off she's talking about, it's an online process. So when you log in, you'll see how many people wrote your exam, what marks they got. If there is any question where, a large fraction of good scoring students got it wrong, then you'll have to go look at the question to make sure, the question is still okay, it's not an error on my part. So it's a very automated process. It will be very easy for you to participate in this. So this is the funding. We spoke about this. Content creation for a 12-week course is 3 lakhs. Then running the course is 1.5 and TA honorarium is 1.5. Likewise, and after that it's proportional. 8-week is 2/3 and 4-week is 1/3 of the 12-week number.
So one of the things here is when you're recording with the class, it's a 40-minute or a 50-minute class. We record it as is. One, you can edit it if you want, make it concise and precise if at all. When you kind of start editing it, it actually comes down to 30 minutes. So that's why we say 30 hours is enough. Or if you're coming in person to do separate class recordings or in the studio you want to record, actually 30 minutes is a lot. It's very dense because every minute you're speaking new content, you're not repeating, you're not summarizing, you're not waiting for somebody to ask a question and pausing. You're not doing any of it. You're just delivering content. So that 30 hours itself is very dense. It's a lot of material when you're offering the thing. But when we do class recordings, we can go up to 35 hours, 38 hours, and you can put it as is because it also gives the students some space to absorb when they are seeing the material that is there. So we chunk it into 15 or 20-minute segments, but we don't necessarily have to edit it out completely, that is it. Unless you have some political or some other joke that can't be said on the online forum, which we have to remove, but otherwise we are good to go just like that from there.
I mean, usually it's okay. That also people don't take it too seriously, but it's very controversial, and if it is something like that, then somebody will protest, and then we'll have to address it at that point. But it's not a big deal.
3 lectures per week, is it?
Something like that, 30 hours. See, this is the maximum budget we have. The budget we have for 12-week course content creation is 3 lakhs. But quite often people do 40 hours. Because in a regular lecture, you would have done 40 hours and they're okay. You know, I mean, it's okay. Let the students see it at their own pace. But that's how, but our max is 3 lakhs.
Very unimportant question, but whether a faculty can, is there any risk?
So not really, but on the camera for contrast and all of that, usually solid colors and particularly if they start distorting on the screen. So dark solids are the best. They come out very well, but depends on what your background is. If there's lots of lighting, if you wear something even mildly white, it will look so sharp. This just disturbs the learner, you know.
Whether I can
T-shirt is okay. See, I think like I said, what's important is you put yourself as a learner, right? When you see the video, you want to have a pleasant experience without too much brightness coming off. So that's why dark solids are very easy. And too many, I'm sorry? Checks are very bad. Because they will start waving around. That's very bad.
Yeah, but what we'll always do is you'll be in an insect throughout the video.
Yeah.
It's not like we'll record your voice and show the slides, but you will be there throughout the video so that when you're looking into the camera, the learner will feel like you're looking at them and speaking, right? So that's something that you have to be sure about. So people have not done recording in front of the camera. Normally we say 1 or 2 trial sessions you'll go to see whether you're looking at the camera, see whether you're being more natural. Unless many people tend to look down and write all the time.
Okay, you're welcome.
So we also ask the studio staff to give feedback, and you also can watch your own or give it to your students.
Thanks.
And see what all you need to correct it before you come to the final videos.
Yeah, so let me just go through a few best practices in case you had. Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Have these 3 types of courses, 4,
8.
8, you know.
Durations, yeah.
So I'm sorry whether I missed it. Are these 3, you know, I mean, when you mean 4 in a week, is it like a shorter course or is it like?
So it's 4 weeks total. Yeah, it's a shorter course. It's like a 1 credit course.
But again, okay, 1 credit course.
1 credit, 2 credits, 3 credits. It's more like
All this should be Senate approved.
Yes, it can be part of a Senate.
1 credit course can be a part of a
Senate approved
so you
course.
think only this part I want to offer online.
Okay.
Say it's something for a PG or a PhD level, and you think that there's a good topic to give them online that it's enough that they learn this and remaining parts are there. You can offer 1 credit.
It can be part of the
Yeah.
pre-credit.
Yeah, can be labeled. So some best practices, I think we spoke more or less about all of these things. I think, chunking videos to a maximum of 20-30 minutes is a good idea. Because first of all, many of the students watch it through a mobile connection on their phones. Okay, so keep that in mind. I mean, you don't think of a grand video. They're watching it on the phone. Many of them are like that. So it has to look good there. That's why writing on a Wacom is important, because everything will come out very clearly there, and your inset being inside there is important. And you should keep it 15-20 minutes. Then the streaming happens without any issue. If it's a long streaming, sometimes that gets into issues. Duration, structure, every 10 minutes. Yeah, so it's good to have for every video that you have some questions and ideas related to the thing. This can be created today using AI also. You can create, it comes out quite okay, but you may have to see it at the end to make sure that it's okay. And then weekly assignments every week, about 10 questions. I think 10 is good, 15 is on the higher side, but some faculty like to put out 15 questions. And then yeah, so a good split. So this is something that's important to remember, both in the assignments and in the final exam. So I would say, I mean, you can repeat what you do here, but then you may not be sure what's going to happen. So it's good because it's a wide ranging audience. the variance is very, very high. If they're not been selected through some entrance or something. So you have to budget for that a little bit. So we generally advise about 30% recall, right? And 30, 40%, 30, 35%. 35% is some problem solving based on what they have learned in the course. And the final 25, 30% you can have for, slightly higher order thinking, next level of courses. If you do everything higher order thinking, then I think this is not an audience for it. This audience is very widespread. They're different people at different levels from different backgrounds.
Students who are being in Ivory Town, forced by their college to do it because it's a credit transfer course, probably does not want to do it but still has to pass it. So you have from that up to the IIT level students. So you give it very easy, IIT level students say it's very easy, but if you put it at IIT level, those students will struggle. So that's why we say the recall this assignment. I watched the videos, I've done my weekly assignments, I've been sincere about at least watching the content. I should be able to pass it and get my credit transfer. But to distinguish the toppers and go to our next level of say the postbacks and all of it, that distinguishing we require in that 20%.
So this is a good way to approach this group because it's a varied group. They have different ideas of what things are. So if you do something like this, the course ends up being very successful. A good mix of questions of different types.
Yeah,
and then
also keep in mind is these students who come into these courses, we cannot expect prerequisites from them. So we do say prerequisites we put and we put some topics or courses out there, but we can't enforce it. So when they come and enroll, they just come in and enroll, and there they have to ensure that they have the prerequisites. So one of the things to do about the courses is if you can give some background. So we call it a week 0 content. So week 1 to week 12 will be your actual content. If you can do a 2 or 3 hour, if the course requires it, and you can do a week 0 content which brushes up the fundamentals required to handle that course, that might also be a good one. Or point them to other NPTEL lectures where watch all of this and then come into this course, see if you're ready.
So,
give them a week 0 assignment and say if you can solve this assignment, you're ready to take my course.
So for instance, just to give you this example of Professor Mosam's course, right? I think the title is Introduction to AI. So when somebody sees it outside, they think Introduction to AI. So I can also do it. I don't need any background or something. But he actually assumes a lot of prior background. He assumes a lot of probability, he assumes linear algebra. It's actually comes at the final year of BTech, maybe here. I don't know. That's how that's the feeling I got from the course. So when you name it, and the popular impression is very different. When you say introduction to something, people think that without any background, I can come and do it. So if you have background requirements like that, if you normally offer it in the 3rd year or 4th year here as an elective, and you assume they've done the core courses that they are doing here in IIT Delhi campus, those kind of courses are much harder to pull off in NPTEL. You have to be very clear on the prerequisites. You have to say, no, this you should have learnt at this level. So even if they would have done a linear algebra class in their college, but you can imagine what would have been emphasized in that, right? So it will be very, very different from what you expect on campus here. So you have to be aware of that. You have to adjust to that. I mean, I'm not saying water it down too much also. That also is not good. They'll see it, oh, this is too easy. They won't like that also. So it has to be done as much as possible self-contained. If you do that, then the courses tend to be very successful.
I also registered that course. It is more than the BTech course.
Okay. Yeah.
Some NPTEL meeting.
Yeah.
I'd like to just mention that you will find me roaming around the Amul chai. Whenever I find you, I just get hold of you. I have to convert it to 100. One job would be so.
I also want to say I am there from 2010 onwards and I have done 3 courses. And whatever he said, I experienced. So whatever you have, all the other questions if you want to ask, I can venture. Because I did a lot of
without sharing the money we get.
Question also I can answer you later. As Amul, you can see the Nescafe or any other place. You can ask me, I can answer.
So, yeah, amazing. Yeah, I think if you see.
Maybe we should talk about that. We'll be talking
So
about
many of the star learners, their stories are so uplifting. I can tell you, there's a person called Pamir Roy. Okay, so he was a mechanical engineering student in Nerist in Arunachal Pradesh. So he started taking NPTEL courses. He started doing ML courses, CS courses. He really liked it. And then he did so many courses. He, in fact, did he get a domain? He got a domain. He got an AI domain. Then he came for an internship in IITM. He did an internship with IIT Kharagpur also. And now, eventually, he's now running an AI startup in Bangalore. And his story,
And it's not just about this, right? He lost his father when he was very young, so Lerist actually takes his students in 11th, 12th. So he was in Arunachal and he never had centers in the entire northeast except for Guwahati. So he used to do a 16-hour travel from Arunachal to Guwahati to write NPTEL exams and study this and then go back, whenever we had exams that was there. But it kind of gave him a pathway to say, I'm a mechanical student, but I wanted to learn AI, and NPTEL gave him that kind of, pathway to do the entire AI thing. A lot of
there are hundreds of stories of this. I mean, we can tell you stories of particularly people from small towns. In small towns, they've not had the exposure to even prepare for JEE. Not just exposure, money. I think today preparing for JEE is like 3-4 lakhs a year easily, right? So how many years can they prepare? And it's impossible for them to come, and even other things they are not aware of. They're just so limited by that, and then they get exposed to these ideas, and they really it's uplifting for them. And so many people have.
For instance, one of the students who's done the 70 plus courses is actually a faculty retired from BITS Hyderabad. He was an IIT Kanpur research associate, then became a faculty. He's about 70 years old, but he continues to study with us. And he keep on writing essays on some of the groups we have and all that, but very driven to keep studying at this age that is there. Now we are seeing that some of the stars who are these 20 course, 30 course takers, they're actually getting the children to do courses. I'm seeing now there are 10 standard children, 11 standard children getting into NPTEL, starting off with maybe some basic programming, basic math. They want to get them introduced. We had a Pondicherry local chapter coordinator, and it was so passionate about NPTEL. He said, yeah, it's all fishermen community. They don't know anything outside Pondicherry. They don't know Madras exists or an IIT exists in that. What is IIT there? How will they change their lives? So he says, at least I want the children to do an NPTEL course so that first they know what an IIT is, and hope that their children will now aspire to get in. That's all he thinks of. Otherwise, he says, second year they quit, they go back to their business, they don't do anything, they don't study with us. So many of them are very, very, interested to work with us from the colleges to say, this is not an education that everybody gets, and you guys are democratizing it at some level that they're getting access in so many ways, right? Be it the internships or the postbac or the whatever opportunities as lab workshops they come here, or just studying from IIT and the Premier Institute faculty. So that opportunity they want to capitalize for all their students, all their faculty. Many of them are going for PhD after that. The faculty also, they are inspired to do PhD after that. They would have just done a BE, joined the college, uninspired, very, kind of a different kind of atmosphere that they're working with. When they do the courses, I think they're really interested that they come here and they start getting inspired, and they also get connections with some of you when they are toppers. They start working with faculty here and so on. So the community has been extremely diverse. We have learners today from 10 years old. In fact, during the COVID, we had somebody who was 89 years old who came and wrote German 1 and German 2 with us. Her husband was 91 years old, came and dropped her by car. She wrote an exam in the morning, exam in the afternoon, German 1, because she wanted to study. She's a homeopathy doctor, and she finished the courses, and she's behind the faculty's back to say, I want German 3. And he actually did it for her because she was paying him every day with an email saying, we need German 3. So he created German 3. Today we have German 1, 2, 3, and that's the span of learners that we have, literally from 10 years old to about 80 years, 85 years old, that is there.
I don't know. I mean, I think seeing an IIT Delhi class, I don't know. I mean, you get students who are really, really good, but then some of them lose their motivation and all that. This group is very different, right? They've somehow missed the bus. Maybe they couldn't. They were not so sharp and smart when they were in school, and now they want something to learn and all of that. And it's just a very nice, pure interest in learning. I mean, nothing much dramatic happens to them beyond that. Of course, the students are a different group. The good students in colleges who are in this community, they are looking to do PG in various places, and you can inspire them to, take up research and other things. So it's very, very useful.
We had one student, so there was a Professor Sanjeeva in the biotech department, and he got a summer intern. So the student came as an intern, stayed there for a year, converted to a PhD. Last year when we went there, he had defended his PhD. Now he's in the US actually doing a postdoc that's there. So it's like a couple of months, an interaction with you could also convert to something like that.
Yeah, so we'll keep talking about, if you get us started, feel free to.
Yeah. Open invitation, we have something called a STARS meet that happens nowadays. The last year we did
Welcome.
it. So the last event we had in IIT Madras, we had 1,200 stars actually come. Stars are people who have done 5 or more courses in that particular semester, we invite them. So we had 1,200 of them come to our campus, spend a day with us. We had some workshops and talks with them. Any of you who's interested, please tell Professor, we will make arrangements for you all to come to IIT Madras in interact with them and actually see what's happening.
Yeah, you'll get a sense of that community if you see this.
Yeah,
It's very
and
interesting.
31st February 1st, I think that weekend we are doing it. So most welcome to come to IIT Madras. We make the travel and whatever logistics are required. Please do come.
So, thank you very much. I think many of participants leaving. So, from my side, two important things. So, my observation is that for IIT Delhi faculty, for whatever reason, the monetary incentive does not matter. I think they're super rich. That's why. But I personally feel we are BPL, below poverty line, in South Delhi. The moment we go out of the campus, we realize that we are BPL. But anyway, jokes apart. So, I think the major reservation for the IT faculty we have is that we are committed to too many things. It could be part of being in capital, we are pulled into many important kind of peripheral activities, academic, non-academic. So that is one. But given this interesting kind of incentive, not necessarily monetary, but also let's say the
Post-bac, internship.
pre-doc and or whatever, and also internship and everything, I think we will have more buy-ins here. So as a business person now, my job would be to convert all of you to NPTEL faculty, and we hope that this session actually motivated many of us. But we have to continue with continuous effort from our side. So they will be inactive. We need some nudge. Like anything.
The next slide, last slide, it has a timelines.
Yeah, timelines.
Yeah. So I think.
So the slides will be shared.
Yeah. We'll share. Okay.
Yeah. We have the recording as well as the slides. Everything will be shared.
We're happy to help. Yeah, I hope to see the 100 number. Wonderful.
So this submission is 31st December. When is the acceptance?
Within a month, sir.
Yeah,
It goes
1
up
month.
to everyone comes back. So there are committees in every area. So it takes about a month to get back and everything. But in the meantime, if you want to start recording your classes are starting and they're okay with it, you can actually start recording also. We can anyways take it into the recording.
So that's a low hanging fruit. Let's start more recording.
Yeah.
Let's see, we have facilities, recording facilities here. And then watch it. You want to kind of get rid of certain segment, you just sit with us, you have a studio and the editor. And then once you are happy, then we are going to send. But before that, we finish the accreditation process from the main review committee and the IT matters. Like what is your title and everything. So that's the most important thing.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Thank you so much.
So from my side, thank you so much all the
Thank you.
participants for coming, and let's give a round of applause.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.